Welcome to the Bucket of Popcorn podcast, where we're going to talk about...
I did not hit her. I did not.
And...
Ricky!
There'll also be some...
What's with kids today, huh? No respect.
And most definitely a lot of... So it's either Josh and Deb, Josh, someone else, Deb and someone else, Josh, Deb, and someone else, or someone else altogether. Welcome to the Bucket of Popcorn podcast. Hey, someone else altogether. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic.
So we changed things up a little bit today. I'm Josh, and today in studio we have...
Should I announce it?
I don't know. I mean, who are you? I didn't... That's why I'm dropping it on you, because I didn't know what to say or who to say. Or
Mark.
Okay.
Coach Mark. Mark is fine.
Coach Mark from Hybrid Total Fit.
Hybrid Total Fitness, Hybrid School of Wrestling, in the house.
Because, you know, might as well put your stuff over, because everybody that listens to this podcast needs to get in better shape.
That is true. COVID did play a number on everybody, and it's summer. We need to go out and get our A game out.
I need that beach body. It's more like a beached whale body for me.
Yeah, I mean, round is a shape. You
keep on trying to get me to work out, and you're like, you know what? Sooner or later you'll come around. No, I've become round. Anyways.
Yeah. Moving on.
So today we are going to talk about... I forgot the full name of it. Because, like, people in my generation, He-Man. I'm going to watch He-Man.
He-Man.
It's Masters of the Universe Revelation. And it was created by Kevin Smith. He's a story editor. Editor, I tried to say. Starring Chris Wood, Sarah Michelle Gellar, and Lena Headey.
Yep.
And a lot of other people, too.
A good cast.
Including Luke Skywalker. And then the security guard from the Jay and Silent Bob movies.
Mm-hmm. We have the Allstate guy isn't there?
The Allstate guy?
The Allstate guy.
Where?
You're in good hands.
Where? No. Yes.
Yeah.
King Grayskull.
You didn't recognize that. I was waiting to get the insurance quote on while I was watching.
Okay, so we're going to talk about this today because I've noticed that I saw it first. Mm-hmm. I just want to throw that out there. I saw it first.
You did. I waited.
And a lot of my friends, two particular friends, I'm not even going to say their names because they've disappointed me so bad.
I know.
Really hated this vehemently.
Wow.
Vehemently. And at least one of them watched the whole thing before he decided he didn't like it.
Okay.
And the other one refuses to watch it. Refuses. And then there's this whole online cyber plan of and it's funny because I'm a big Kevin Smith fan.
As
and
am I.
I used to look like Kevin Smith.
This is true.
And then I'm a Masters of the Universe fan.
Of course.
So I was all happy about it. But so many people have been where they're hate bombing the Rotten Tomatoes ratings and stuff like that about it.
I do see a lot of mixed stuff about it. I don't get it. I mean, first of all, it's a cartoon. Something we love.
It's animated.
An animation. A filmation. But for what it was, and I think it stayed pretty true to the original.
Well, let's just throw it out there that there will be spoilers in this.
Yes.
And we're just going to talk about it and what we liked about it, what we didn't like about it. I personally did not know until you stole that Castle Grayskull from underneath me. You're like, hey, bro, look at this. And I'm like, oh, cool, Castle Grayskull, get it for me. I was like, well, hold it there. I'll go pick it up right now. And you're like, fuck you. I'm buying my own.
It's bragging rights. I mean, come on. It's something I never had as a child, and now that I'm a grown child, I'm going to get it.
Well, see, I didn't realize all these years we could have been talking Masters of the Universe.
This is true. We talked about so much other things that our mutual love. Maybe that's what bonded us to this point right now.
Yeah.
I like it.
Harry tights and and bracelets and
buddy bands and
well, no, because that's what He-Man wears.
oh yeah.
But so we'll get into that too. That's something we're going to talk about. Let's talk about what we liked about it, what we didn't like about it. For those of y'all that haven't seen it or who refuse to see it, nay. Not that I'm saying Renee's name or anything, nay. But it catches up years after the original one ended.
Yeah, it wasn't a new take, it was a continuation.
Right.
That's what I liked about it. It was it's the ongoing saga of it, so
You know what I really liked about it? And they threw it out there right at the beginning. Prince Adam didn't look like He-Man wearing pink.
yes.
I don't care if he would have been wearing pink or anything like that, but he had a different body.
Right.
His voice was different. Same actor, but it was different.
Right.
And because I've always hated the whole Superman thing of taking off the glasses and combing the hair and all that. But, I mean, before it was like, that's obviously He-Man wearing his pajamas.
True. The laundry washed with the red clothing and turned pink, or
Or it was just pink. There's nothing wrong with dudes wearing pink.
maybe there's a backstory on that too. We never know.
You never know.
No. I did like that as well. There was the power that infused in him, and he definitely became different. So he's a boy, and he becomes He-Man.
Yeah.
And they signified that in this, and that was a good take on it. I like that too.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. What did you think about? And I was kind of like, and I think I don't know how much of it now is me just defending it because everybody hates it so much. Not everybody, but these online people hate it so much. But what did you think about how he activated the power?
You mean the way he called upon it?
The way he called upon the power of Grace.
I prefer the original. Maybe it's just nostalgia. This one seemed a little light in the boots, kind of calling down on it into the power, But I think it could have been a different take. I wasn't a fan of the way he called upon it.
I think it was the first time he was reading the script, and they were like, "Oh, perfect, we'll go with that one."
Right.
No, I'm kidding. Because instead of doing the whole echoing of voice and all that,
Right.
he said it as a matter of fact by the power of Grace.
Right. And I get the whole he's a boy and he's waiting for the power, to calm down and turn him into He-Man. But if you're calling on something, you want them to hear you, obviously. So I think a little more bass in the voice, a little more.
Oh, he's holding the sword. That is the magic amplifier, as we will learn later on in the series, that, the sword is the key to the magic. And if it's not the sword, everything in the universe is gone.
Right. Now, I think if it was his first time calling upon the power, holding the sword up into it, then yeah, he doesn't know how exactly, But obviously in the story, it's a continuation. So by then, he should be, versed in that. So I think they could have done a little bit better on that part.
Okay. So it goes into a celebration. And dude, I loved how He-Man's there with Clawful and Spike Door or whatever his name is, and he's got them held as prisoners, as captives, and I don't know why there's like the depository of criminals at Castle Grayskull with the sorceress or what, but then it ends up being Fakor.
Yes.
I loved how he was like a T-800
right off the bat. Yep. You get him.
And then she burnt the skin off, and his arms flayed off. But then the robotics go and connect to it, and everything like that.
Yes, that was a good surprise. Like I said, I think we got characters right off the bat that we wouldn't thought of, and it was a good element. I liked it. I like the way they incorporated everything, character wise.
That's something else. Something else we'll talk about seeing more characters this time around. But with Faker, even though he's one of my favorite characters, one of my favorite toys. When I had it back in the day, the first day that I had it, the sticker fell off and I lost it. I was playing with him, out in the stickers in the grass and the dirt and everything like that. And the first day I lost that sticker.
And then he was just,
And then, shout out to you for picking one up for me. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yes. And you don't have to worry this time because it's actually stamped on there, so it's not going anywhere. It's not a sticker. So
what?
Yep.
What?
Yep.
I'm a little disappointed.
So, well, you don't have to worry about putting it in the dirt.
About losing it or anything like that. Well, I'm not going to take it out of the package.
Oh, no, in case you have a moment.
Okay.
Nostalgia.
But I forgot what I was going with the whole faker thing. Oh, even back then when I was a kid, it's like he's blue and he has orange hair. How can anybody think he's He-Man?
Yeah.
How stupid are these people? And then a friend of mine was telling me, oh, well, it's only blue because that's how you see it. But for them, they see him normal. And I was like, that makes no sense. As a child.
True. But now as an adult, we see. And in the cartoon, we see how.
And my buddy that told me that, you know what his name was?
I'm waiting.
His real name.
Oh, boy.
Not Joshua, but Josh Montana.
Interesting.
On his birth certificate, his name is Josh Montana.
One word? I mean, one name?
No, with the first name, last name.
Oh.
His last name was Montana. I mean, that just sounds like a wrestling name or something like that.
It's pretty good.
Josh Montana.
It's pretty good. All-American. I see that. I can see it.
I hope he ended up being a wrestler or like a cowboy or something like that.
I think we would have heard if he was.
Yeah. But I'm kind of avoiding it, but we might as well just go into it head on. The problem that some of my friends have with it, and a lot of people online, is what they're deeming like a forced girl power type situation with the whole thing. Which in some cases I can see how it's. I was raised by a woman. I've got four sisters. The majority of my bosses in my life have all been female, have all been women, and I love women. I've got no problem. I'm not a male chauvinist pig or anything like that. I'm a pig, but
the views and opinion. No, just kidding.
The thoughts and views.
There you go.
No, but there's situations like in was it Endgame or
yeah,
in Infinity War, was it Endgame?
It
was Endgame.
Yes.
Avengers Endgame.
Yes.
Where Captain Marvel was there, and he's like, "Well, how are you gonna get over there?" Well, he's a little punk ass kid, Spider-Man, and then all the girls show up and they're like, we got it from here,
right,
or whatever they say, and it's like a lot of those girls were just normal humans who ain't gonna be doing shit anyways. This is Captain Marvel. She could have just flown over. She beat up the whole ship. She punched a galactic space destroyer or whatever
with one blow, and
she punched it. She didn't need any of these other people right here, but they put it in a scene, and it was like a forced girl power scene that just seemed so ingenuine. But then you know what? Afterwards, Deborah was like, "I love that scene when all the girls were there." I'm like,
I mean,
it did its job that they were trying.
It did. And I mean, for me taking my daughters to go see it, it was good for them to see, girl power, that they had a place there. And
in my opinion, there would have been more girl power if the one female character, Captain Marvel, would have just beat everybody up all the way over there by herself.
True. But you figure they highlight the male Avengers so much that a small little clip.
Dude, Wonder Woman 1, the movie Wonder Woman 1. Look how awesome those warriors were.
That's a different brand. We're not talking about that brand.
But I mean, that's how you show awesome warriors, because they were all the Amazonians were awesome and badass. Part 1.
Yeah.
Part 1. And the first like 7 minutes of part 2.
Yeah.
But anyways, okay, we'll get back to it. I don't find what happens is that Tila has reached the point of being the title of Man at Arms.
Yes, Man at Arms, mind you.
Yeah, they didn't make it Woman at Arms. It's the rank. It's the name Man at Arms.
Right.
And so she's made it up to there, and it's like her graduation day, or not graduation day, the ceremony day.
Promotion day. Ranking day, yeah.
And then that's when they're attacking Grayskull, and they get the psychic message, and they have to go over there. And I never thought of it as, like we said earlier, spoiler alert, He-Man and Skeletor die inside Castle Grayskull during this battle.
Mm-hmm.
They just die. And then it jumps to, it seems like a couple years later, right?
Yeah, fast forwards.
Tila's got the side of her hair shaved and all that, and she's hanging out with, what's the lady's name?
It's a new character, so
Andra.
There you go.
Voiced by Tiffany Smith. And a lot of people are complaining about that it's girl power this and girl power that, and it's social justice warriors. I didn't even know how to say it. Stuff. But I don't see it that way. Tila was not He-Man's sidekick, because that's Cringer was He-Man's sidekick,
right.
and Orko was He-Man's sidekick, but Tila was always right there, side by side.
Yeah.
You know, I saw Man at Arms as the mentor,
Right. And
You
the
know,
father figure, which of course he was.
and the father figure, and I mean, I saw He-Man and Tila almost as equals. The only reason that he was more than her was because he had the power of Grayskull.
Right.
You know, so the next logical thing is Tila coming in,
And taking over. Right. No, because like you said, you had saw it before me, and you had even forewarned me that it kind of seemed like it was going in that direction.
because by the time you get to the middle of the second episode, it looks like it's going
Right.
that forced, you know. And this is how you should do it.
Right.
This is where you can show a female character naturally just stepping into their position, that they're good, that's them.
Right,
Not because it's forced, not because it's like, oh well, we need to show
Right.
this or that.
And going in, I didn't get that at all. Even with you forewarning me, and I don't think you had even seen all the episodes until you did, and then you messaged me and told me otherwise. But I think it was just her progressing the story. I think to bring anybody else in and be like, okay, he's going to be He-Man's predecessor, successor, wouldn't have made sense. You know, we've already been introduced to this certain amount of characters in this take of it, the revelation.
Right.
So why would you bring somebody else new and where you already had a little bit of a backstory at this point with her?
Well, and it is a continuation of
Yes,
the original
right,
series. So
right.
I mean, they've already been established.
Right. But I think new people coming in and watching it wouldn't have known, you know.
Oh, true.
So, I mean, the characters introduced at this point, it made sense, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, Cringer's definitely not going to be, you know, his successor. And, you know, Man at Arms, you know, he's already, like you said, the mentor type. He's not the, you know.
Yeah.
So I think Tila was the good choice
Was the perfect choice
to carry the story until it got to where it got to go.
Yeah.
What was going, rather.
And now, if we want to go snarky into it and comedy wise into it and sarcastically grumpy old man into it,
That's down our alley.
you can't say all these people, including my friend who refuses to watch it, that it's woke junk and social justice warrior stuff and all that. In the majority of the situations, when the characters get backed into a corner and there's nothing else they can do and they're about to lose, you know, here comes Man at Arms to save the day.
Right.
Here comes Beast Man to save the day.
Right.
You know, and then there's situations like that also where Tila and Andra get out of it on their own. But I mean, if it really was a forced girl power, what's the word I'm looking for? Political agenda type thing.
Right.
Then there wouldn't have been any situations where Man at Arms or Beast Man could come in. I mean, literally, they have man in their names.
Right. Exactly. Which thankfully, you know, they kept that true to its form.
Yeah. Dude, Beast Man was awesome.
He was. Yeah.
He didn't have many words or anything like that, but just the loyalty that he had for Evelyn. Dude, Evelyn. I'll watch an Evelyn series.
It's good. It's good. I liked how they gave her a backstory.
Yes.
They just didn't throw characters in to throw them in. They gave them real life, you know.
And see, because Skeletor and He-Man are dead, well, not dead, but out of the equation.
Yes.
You have room to explore these other characters.
And see, I think, so we'll compare it to something else. And I actually was thinking about this earlier. With them out of the equation, you are able to develop other characters. So let's take a look at Cobra Kai.
Okay.
You have Daniel and Johnny Lawrence.
Right.
And I mean, we know their story. I mean, what fun would it have been just to have, I mean, it would have been cool. I mean, we all watch He-Man for He-Man and Skeletor, but we were able to develop new characters. So with Cobra Kai, yes, they had Daniel and Johnny, but they still evolved other characters.
Right.
And even though they're part of the equation, they took a lesser role. Now their kids come up. Now other characters come into play. And you're able to get backstories on, you know, past characters from, you know, the original movies and stuff like that. And so I think that's what He-Man did. I mean, Kevin Smith is a big fan of Cobra Kai. And I think he kind of took that concept of that and said, hey, these are still our main characters. Let's bring them down a little bit. Let's build other characters and we'll save, you know, good stuff for later on,
Because if not, then you get Hulk Hogan in WCW.
Exactly.
You have to bring up the younger
I
talent,
mean,
expand
you
the story.
can't have the same main event every night. You have to have, other talent,
Yeah. You knew we had to work wrestling into it somehow.
Yeah, we did.
But another friend of mine that watched all the episodes told me, well, I don't like it because He-Man's not in it. He-Man and Skeletor aren't in it. They're the main thing. I'm like, they're in every episode.
True.
They are literally in every episode. There's flashbacks. They Slumdog Millionaire it.
Yes.
So you can find out why they know how to do this for this specific situation, or how it's going to help out. When they're trying to get into Snake Mountain, it cuts to a scene when He-Man and Teela are beating Whiplash.
Right.
And there's a trap door to get into there, and that's how they sneak in.
Yep. No, I think they had to take them out of the equation to bring up the other characters, to explore other characters, build them up, and we don't know what else is planned. So I mean,
this is part one. There's another. I wish there would have been more than 5 episodes. 25 minutes each.
Who you telling? Was it 25? It flew by.
Yeah, it was basically following the same format as the cartoons, the formation ones that we watched when we were kids.
That makes sense. I just watched. I didn't pay attention.
But Evelyn, people are dogging Kevin Smith's writing, and it's like the arc that Evelyn has, and how she helps build up Teela. She helps show Teela. No, because Teela's already who she is,
right?
But she shows a different side of herself to Teela, but she's helping build up Andra, who's the new adventurer, the new character that they're bringing in.
They give more dimension to them.
And then I don't care who says what about what I'm about to say, but the scene with her and Orko, and you find out Orko's name was really Oracle. Mm-hmm. His parents had put him up in such a high level, but he couldn't say it, so he said Orko, and But then how she's telling people basically, oh, it doesn't matter what people said. This is what you're doing here now. You're the last one now, and you have the power for this and that. And then like they don't merge their powers, but they help each other out. And and then Orko comes on with that array of magic. And
no, they Orko definitely took a different take on this one, and I loved it. Still same true to the true form, the original form, but like I said, more depth, more dimension, and more likable. He was annoying as a kid, Even as a kid, I found him annoying.
I teared up twice. I will say it right now. I teared up twice. Well, one was just there on the corner of my eye. It was kind of there, and it was helping moisturize my eyes with the sinuses we have here in Texas and all that. But when him and Evelyn were talking and they had that conversation, and there was like a little battle there,
right?
And then his battle with Scareglow.
Yep.
One single solitary tear went down my face into my beard and got absorbed by my luscious beard.
And if that wasn't good writing or good, character pinpointing, then that would have happened. I think that was a perfect, example of how they pulled you into that character. Now, had He-Man and Skeletor been in there, like, would you have had that much invested in Orko? Maybe not. No. So I think it was good. I think
we were watching it, and I kind of wish Deborah was on this podcast, but she's making sure our pets over there don't bark as much or anything like that. But that scene with Scareglow and Orko,
yes,
Deborah gasped. She's like, "No!"
It was yeah.
Yeah.
So I was watching it with my daughter, and even they stopped. They were in and out watching, and even they stopped and just like. Then they paid attention.
In case you haven't figured it out yet, Orko dies.
Spoiler alert.
Fighting Scareglow with, I'm getting choked up now, with this massive energy.
It was good.
Magic.
It was good.
Rings.
It was Avengers style. Just give it your all. He gave his all.
And like the rings were encompassing Scareglow, and then the one had to put both of them together, and then the last ring came in and just took both of them out.
Yep.
It was awesome.
Now, let me ask you, well.
Go ahead.
We'll get further along in the story, of course. But do you think they kind of, I don't know, I didn't feel like they harped on his demise as much as we see something later on. I don't know if we should go into that just yet or not. It looks like they kind of just glossed over it. Yes, they had
because they had to get out of where they were at to go to Preternia.
right.
Otherwise, Orko's sacrifice would have been in vain.
Okay.
But at least when they got to Preternia, they could have been like, Orko, no.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know.
Yeah, they got there and they're like, this place is cool.
Yeah, they just kind of like, oh, well, you live and learn.
But that's how movies are.
Yeah, it's true. Like I said, it is an animation, so. But
the good thing is it was magic related, so if they wanted to at the end, they can bring him back.
I mean, we're not done. Hopefully, not yet.
5 more episodes at least.
Yes, at least one more season.
So where were you going at? What are you avoiding? I know what you're avoiding, but
Well, I mean, we'll get into it. Like I said, other characters were, like I said, maybe who wouldn't have got as much airtime or much investment in is Roboto.
we got Roboto.
Roboto.
We got
Stinkor there.
voiced by Jason Mewes.
Merman.
Merman came back
Merman.
twice. So you got to see Merman in a flashback
Yep.
with Skeletor and Evelyn.
Yep.
I still want to go in more about Evelyn. And then you see Merman in the current time, all scarred up and missing an eye.
Right. See, this is a backstory there that, you know.
I liked how ruthless. There's some little jabs that they put in there.
Yep.
And when Merman tells He-Man, he goes, and then after the brine has filled your lungs and you take your last breath, I want you to know that it is me, the merman, who pries the power sword from your cold, dead hands.
Nice.
I was like, yes. There was also another cheesy line when you find out that Andra and Tila are like mercenaries.
Yeah.
And they go and save the glove of globulus for this church. And the church is all like, oh, I'm glad you found it because when we didn't have the glove of globulus, they keep on saying glove of globulus like 10 times. Our followers weren't coming in. And Andra says, no glove, no love.
Cheap pop.
I was like, really? Really?
That's how you know it's not really for the kids. It's for us. Grown kids.
Well, everybody knows that. That's why the action figures are $24.99.
True. Yes, true. Triclops.
Triclops voiced by Henry Rollins.
Yes.
Cause he's a liar.
Yes. Amazing job. I definitely liked his character. The strong demeanor.
The religious zealotness
Yeah.
of the motherboard of technology because of magic is now gone.
Yep.
Oh, that was something else that people were mad at. I don't know how I glossed over that. I was like, oh, He-Man and Skeletor died. Okay, let's move on. But what happened was you come to find out that Castle Grayskull all this time was a facade.
Yep.
It wasn't. It was just an illusion on the outside.
Right.
And it was the Hall of Wisdom.
Right.
That was originally
They held
created.
it. Yeah.
And that's what Skeletor, He-Man stabs. Skeletor torches Mossman, just kills the spirit of the forest. And He-Man's like, no! And he stabs Skeletor. Skeletor's like, it's about time you use that sword when it's made for, boy.
Nice voice.
Oh, it's not how he sounds in the show, but
This is a good take though.
okay. And he stabs him into and because the toy, the action figure, the sword was the key to get to open Grayskull.
Right,
so that was
right.
kind of cool. And it was it opened up the wisdom of the universe, which
Right.
is all the magic. And Skeletor broke the magic. And then they I was gonna make a Space Jam joke.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
They went to a Quicksilver from the X-Men thing,
Okay.
and they slowed down time.
Right.
And they're like, that was kind of cool of He-Man. He's like, well, what if I call upon the power while I'm in this form?
Right.
And Tila's like, what do you mean this form? That was something else. I was a little upset by that. So he sacrifices himself, and it wipes out him and Skeletor. That's how they die. And then that's when Tila finds out that he was Prince Adam.
Right.
You know, and they go back and they tell the parents about it, and they kick out Man-at-Arms from the King Randor
Banned.
It's kind of funny, and it shows you what kind of jerk King Randor was.
Right.
Because Man-at-Arms is like, during the battle, He-Man has succumbed. And then the mom starts crying, no, no, no. And he's like, okay.
It's just He-Man.
He-Man's gone. At least there's no Skeletor. And he goes, King Randor, but Prince Adam, he's gone. And he's like, no, He-Man's dead. Prince Adam's okay. And he's like, no. And then the mom, they say at the beginning that only 4 people know: Orko, Cringer, Man-at-Arms, and Sorceress.
Yes, Sorceress.
Are the only people that know
Right.
the secret. And the mom's like, no, He-Man was Adam. And King Randor the Great, he's all like, what? What? And then Tila's like, what? It's like, how could you not know?
So this is one of the things that people were complaining about too, that she pretty much threw a fit like a 5-year-old child.
Tila.
Yes. I don't know. What are your takes on it? But the reason why, because, I didn't know. I denounce all of this and I don't want any part of this.
I
and-
have been in situations in our real lives and had stuff with some of our real friends where it's like, well, I didn't know this and blah, 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 so I'm not going to be blah, 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 blah. So I can see how that happened. Of course, our friends that did that didn't have the integrity or the skill or even the good hair that Tila did.
This is true.
This is true. But, I mean, they should go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
I don't even know where I'm going with this.
Oh.
I love the series. I like how they showed the past champions.
Right. Yeah, that was a good take on it too. I liked it all. I mean, for the most part.
I am surprised that I haven't seen anybody complain. Well, they showed the past champions,
Yes, the past champions.
and they showed Wondar, which was the Wonder Bread crossover from when it was He-Man wearing the Zodiac
Oh yeah.
armor,
Right.
and then they showed Hero, which I never liked Hero.
But I think that's what they did differently here. They made you like characters you normally wouldn't have liked,
They had the time and space. Well, yeah, time and space to do that because there was no He-Man or Skeletor
Right.
taking over other
Right.
than the flashbacks.
Right.
I'm honestly surprised. I don't know if I'm supposed to say stuff like this, but that people didn't complain because is he King Grayskull
Yes.
or just Grayskull?
King Grayskull? For our purposes.
He is a person of color.
Yes.
I don't want to say African American because they're not on Earth. They're
True.
not. There is no
True.
Africa. There is no America.
True.
There, he's a person of color. I'm surprised that I haven't seen people complain about that. And not only am I surprised, I'm actually kind of happy.
Okay with it.
But yeah, people are complaining that there's girl lead characters, but at least they're not complaining that.
This is true.
You
Show
know.
some growth.
Yeah,
Show some growth.
some.
No.
But then again, it might be that they didn't even get that far into the series because
That's true.
these closed-minded
The-
people didn't get that far.
The second episode and they shut it down. But no, I think that was a good take. Like I said, I think you're so invested in the story at that point, at least, that color and race and gender doesn't even make a point. Like, it's a good story at that point.
Yeah.
Especially like you said, after Orko and other things that have happened, they humanize some of the characters. I think you're just invested in the tale of it at that point that you don't even see that stuff.
So I've been watching videos online where people are just lambasting, just tearing into Kevin Smith and how he was a liar, that he promised it was going to be close to the original, and that he's a cuck because to the social justice warriors and all that, because he has this lead female character, right? And I usually don't like cussing in this podcast, for the Bucket of Popcorn podcast.
That's
But Kevin Smith's response was basically, "Fuck you, grow up."
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Like I said, I really didn't get anything other than that. A good story, good characters, good voice casting. I mean, everybody
Dude,
did phenomenal.
Everybody's awesome.
Everybody did phenomenal. And when I found out who most of these characters were that I couldn't quite pick up on, it was perfect.
My least favorite voice actor is one of the most famous actors in this, and also not only for being an actor, but for being a voice actor and having an iconic character. And I guess because he is so iconic with that character. It's hard to shake it.
Mm-hmm.
But there was for me personally, way too much Joker in Mark Hamill's Skeletor.
I agree. And I see similarities, not in the voices, but in the character of themselves, of Skeletor and Joker. It's some of that insane, quality in them. So I can see where that kind of comes out.
Skeletor, I can't remember what the joke was, but it was like a bad dad joke he had towards the end.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember what it was, but it happened, and I went,
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't think it was horrible. I think Mark Hamill definitely could have changed it up a little bit. I know he pulled from different things probably to get it.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I think maybe the insane characteristic of Joker and the desperateness of Skeletor trying to get the power kind of coincided, and he just went with it.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it, didn't love it, didn't hate it. The middle of the road. My least favorite was Cringer.
You told me that. Yeah,
I do. I
the
know
voice or the whole character.
I didn't like the take of Cringer. Like I said, I know it's magic and he's able to talk much like the original, but I would have preferred either a different voice or maybe no voice at all. Maybe done more like Aladdin, the tiger Raj from.
But my reply to that was he had a voice in the original series.
And I get that. I get it's magic and he can talk all of a sudden, but I don't know. I didn't care for Cringer. Not the way they did the character. Battle Cat, badass.
Yes.
Battle Cat was fire. But Cringer itself, I would have preferred maybe either a different voice or different take on it.
Now, what do you think the big secret is, the big twist, which is going to be Tila related? So some people are going to be mad about it. Is what do you think it is? Because there's like three times in the series where they're going to let this big secret out, and then, we don't have time right now. And then Man at Arms is like, when they go into slow motion time, Tila says, "Why did you bring us here if we're all going to die anyways?"
Right.
And the sorcerer says, "Well, I just wanted to see you one last time." And then when Man at Arms, when they track him down years later, and he's grumpy old Man at Arms,
right?
And he's like, "Well, if we're gonna leave, I need to tell you this: no more secrets." And Evelyn's like, "Nah, no more family drama.
That.
We ain't got time for this." And then something else happens later on. I think the big secret is that she's related to the sorceress, and I'm hoping she's gonna be the green goddess, not the salad dressing, but the one from the little comic books that came from the original toys.
Right.
Because
you had mentioned that. Well, the toy hunt at least. So
yeah. Because when they sold it, the original intention was making the Tila. If you bought Tila, it was two figures.
Right.
It's the figure wearing the snake headdress and all that, and then you take that off, and then it's Tila, two totally different characters.
Right.
Hoping that people were going to buy two of them, because it costs tons of money. Also on Netflix, the Toys That Made Us series, they'll tell you about that. It costs tons of money to make a mold of another toy or something like that. And that was the whole point of having two in one with Tila.
Yeah. No, I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean, they're making her too, and not in a bad way. Like I said, not like the haters are hating on her, but I think they're making her too much a part of the story to just let her stay the same. Something big is going to happen.
And I forgot what she did where she was in a magic situation, and then she got like 3 little lines on her forehead.
Oh, yeah. I forget what that is. No, I know what you're talking about, though. So, but no, I think they definitely have something planned.
Did you notice when they first run into the Church of Motherboard or the followers of Motherboard or anything like that, do we need to stop?
No, we're good.
Andra hit Trapjaw in the face with that circular saw, and then when you see him later on, his helmet's cracked and his eyes sewn shut.
Oh, yeah.
So Trapjaw had the messed up face.
Right.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Little things like that.
Little things. And we touched on Man at Arms, but let's talk about how much Man at Arms was a badass in this one. Like,
dude, they named that episode "The Most Dangerous Man on Eternity."
Like I said, that's another character. Even growing up, even the toy and everything. Like, he's. But no, they made him a badass in this,
yes.
and I'm I like it. And almost once he got banned, almost what we said, a Ronin,
Yeah, Ronin style.
Yeah, rogue. He went rogue and doing his own thing. Had a little scruff, and he's a badass, like John Wick style.
Dude. And even Evil Lynn, when she's telling the story to Tila, and she says, I always told the Snake Mountain mountaineers, engineers, He-Man may be the strongest man in the universe, but Man-at-Arms was the deadliest man on Eternia.
Yeah, that was, yeah. No, they definitely nailed his character. And like I said, they gave him definitely way more depth. And you're invested in him now, like...
Yeah.
Even, throughout the story, like, he keeps showing up, and it's just like, you're almost excited to see him there.
Do you remember Roboto being modeled after the brainwaves of Man-at-Arms? I don't remember that.
I don't remember that, no.
I never liked Roboto or anything like that.
Yeah.
But in this one, it's like, dude, that just...
So, yeah, they definitely made Roboto, which is voiced by
my 10th removed cousins, Justin Long. Yeah.
Oh, like Olive Garden. We're family here. Good.
Yeah.
But no, they definitely made you like him as well. Like I said, the toy. They make me like him so much, I wanted to go buy the toy.
Did you get it?
I got him. I'm excited. But no, they definitely, gave him his moment to shine, and, he had a role in this story, and he nailed it, I think. So I think that was the other kind of, well, I don't know for you, but kind of the gas moment, that you're like,
I expected it. The moment that he was like, oh, I'm based on you, so I have your memories. I told Deborah, I was like, that's how they're going to kill Man-at-Arms. They're not going to kill Man-at-Arms, but they're going to kill Man-at-Arms.
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah. I think that was a gas moment for me. We already spoiled all this stuff, so.
Yeah.
You want to sell the scene?
You're talking about the last scene?
Yeah.
Dude, that completely caught me off guard. I didn't expect it. They bring back the magic to Eternia. They fuse the swords together, and Adam leaves Preternia, which is heaven for the champions.
Right.
And he leaves, and they tell him they tell him at the beginning, if you use the swords, you're gonna die.
Right.
Then they tell him, hey, if you leave Preternia, no matter what, there's nothing you can do to come back to this perfect heaven.
Once you're gone, you're gone.
Yeah. And he says again, I'm going to do it. I want to be with Tila. I want to go out there. I need to save the world. And he goes out there, and as soon as they get there, he says, by the power of Grayskull, and then just Skeletor runs him through. Stabs him.
It was unexpected. It was definitely unexpected.
And then he says the words. He lifts the sword, says the words, and becomes Skelegod.
When does that happen? Just wow. And so that's why I think the story gave us more depth. So when you did get He-Man and Skeletor, it was badass. I mean, without a lot of battle scenes, but there didn't need to be. I mean,
if they would have been going back and forth every episode, it would have just been dumb Skeletor.
Right.
And almost kind of goofy He-Man.
Right.
And so even if you look at the old series, that's why I don't like Superman. The whole Boy Scout, overpowered, no real weakness. His weakness is everybody else type situations. We didn't have He-Man there. And when they did bring He-Man back, now they have the weakness of him being Prince Adam.
More vulnerability. Yeah. I get that. No, I think, they humanized it. So even though it's superpower, it's masters, it's all magic and all this stuff, it still gave it realness. It didn't make believe, but realistic make believe, I think.
Out of a 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
0 being the worst, 10 being the best.
Mm-hmm.
What do you rate Masters of the Universe Revelations?
I think the good overweight the bad. Like I said, there was some things I think they could have done better. I think the illustration was just amazing.
Yes.
A voice aside from the voice acting that was pretty much on par. The illustration was just amazing. The graphics were just badass. I think everything considered, I gave it a solid 8.
That's what I give it, an 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're on the same page. I like it.
That's a first.
Yeah. But no, I like it. I
I like that they separated the swords. Something that simple, because the toys, you had the purple sword and then the silver sword, and I don't know.
And like you said, they brought back characters like Stinkor. I forgot about Stridor's in here.
The horse,
the horse with armor, like that was bad. I remember that toy when I was a kid. That was badass.
They had Land Shark, and then they had that weird black tank with the red spinning things. I wish it would have brought the spider. I had the spider. The thing was huge, man. Right. I got it at a thrift store.
Wow.
Yeah.
You lucky son of a gun.
Yep. I
don't want to talk to you. I'm just kidding. Did we see Panther in this? We did see Panther.
I didn't see Panther.
Did we? I thought there was a scene, maybe in the background. I don't think we did.
No.
And then there's still a ton of characters that we hadn't seen. I mean, we saw glimpse of them, like when they're going into Eternia. Once they get word, before all of this happens. But we didn't get their stories. So I think season 2, going forward.
This another scene for me, and you too, because you and I talked about it, was when Skeletor comes back, and he's like, "All right, let's go."
Yeah. Oh.
And Evelyn's like, "Sorry, kids, I really was starting to like y'all too." And she goes back with Skeletor.
So Evelyn pretty much makes herself likable. Like you want to like her, you want to
respect her,
and yeah, exactly. You see why she is the way she is. Like I said, that humanized effect, and then just like that, just switches it.
And then Beastman, his loyalty wasn't really with Skeletor. He was with because he even says it in the at the beginning of the series that whoever harms her has me as an enemy.
Yeah.
And it was just like
that's cool. That was pretty cool to see that. Yeah,
I liked his design on his face and all that. He didn't have the big Beastman armor or anything, but he didn't need it.
Right. No, I think, like I said, the illustration was just amazing on some of these characters and the takes. I don't hate Kevin Smith for this, I
don't hate Kevin Smith for this. What do you hate Kevin Smith for then? Batman. What did he do to Batman?
Oh, Ben Affleck. He put a little ding to the reputation with that, but other than that, we're good.
So you're blaming... Okay, we're not going to go into that. But, dude, Tony Todd, Candyman.
Yes.
As the voice of Scareglow.
I think I might have even preferred him as Skeletor. That would have been...
Well, I know why they went with that one, because he used to have the He-Man voice back in the day. So I understand. It's just a little too Joker for me. But Tony Todd, one of my personal favorite celebrities. Have you ever heard my Tony Todd story?
I don't think I have.
We were at a Texas Comic-Con, and we were shoved off to the back by the bathrooms. And we were podcasting, and he walks by, and he's kind of looking at us, but he's got to go. I guess he goes off to the bathroom. And when he comes back, he was like, "Excuse me, are you podcasting?" Yes, sir, we are. He's like, "Can I get on the microphone?"
Wow.
I'm like, "Yes, sir, Mr. Candyman, sir. You can get." And he got on and he talked to us for like 5 minutes, and it's on the Hatch TV podcast, and it was pretty cool. That is a cool story. So anything that has Tony Todd,
you're all on board over it.
Yeah.
No, I think he did. Like I said, I kind of liked his voice as Joker. I mean, Joker. Sorry, as Skeletor. I would have liked to seen that take on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I get Mark Hamill's Mark Hamill. Why wouldn't you? The namesake alone is going to draw people in, but I think a little different take on Skeletor would have been cool. I mean, they did a different take on He-Man as far as voice and character and size and actual transformation, so why not?
They kind of hinted that he was like the future ghost of Skeletor or something like that too. Did you catch on to that?
What scene was that?
On Scareglow?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'll show you when we're done here.
Okay.
But we're 50 minutes into this
already.
Yes, 49:06.
Who would have thought we could talk this long about He-Man?
And
maybe more.
Dude, we talked about this a lot more.
We did.
We talked about this too much
that I think we just
didn't say it here. Our previous conversation was so much better.
Oh, yeah. Our live conversation. Next time we'll have to do it live, I guess. We'll have to save our comments until podcast time.
Yeah, makes sense. But I think that's all we got for today.
Want to talk about characters real quick?
Go for it.
Figures. What do we? The new. Have you seen the Revelation brand? Yeah.
Yes, I have seen them, and it kind of reminds me of the Masters of the Universe figures from about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I wasn't a big fan of those.
Nah, I wasn't a fan of those. I do like it because they're more based on the Netflix series, of course. I think Skeletor looked badass in this one.
Yes. I mean, it's hard to mess up Skeletor. But then again, yeah, the ones that they've messed up, they really messed up. Right. Yeah. Okay.
I've seen a few. I saw Revelation Skeletor yesterday. Almost bought it, but the box was torn.
Have you seen Moss Man?
I've seen pictures. I've seen videos. I haven't seen him in person, but he looks pretty legit too.
Yeah.
He-Man's He-Man. I think He-Man is how you were saying Skeletor is. You can't really mess that up.
It's kind of generic, unless it's a future He-Man.
Right.
I wonder if they made Tila with the shaved head, or if they made her, because at the beginning,
that's a good question.
She's wearing like her OG costume, even the headpiece, and all that.
Yeah, she throws that down and throws a little tantrum. I mean, but no, I'm digging the new line. I'm loving it. I like how they're saying just like a true to the original.
Some people are mad that he's got the H on his chest instead of the cross. And years before this, years ago, even that other toy line we're talking about now, they changed it to the same logo that Grayskull had on his chest, which is like 3 bands instead of a cross.
Right.
Because some people say it looks like the Iron Cross. That German thing. We can't say the other German word. But
well, wasn't that one only on the battle armor one original? The cross?
The cross was on the original He-Man.
Okay. What was on the battle armor one? The one that the chest would roll in?
It was the H.
Oh, without. Okay,
but it was orange with like a yellow line around it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
My He-Man original ones, I left in the yard, and the dog got a hold of them and chewed their hands up. And me being a kid, I sold them at the next garage sale we had. So
I ruined my Masters of the Universe and my G.I. Joes because I found this amazing invention called a BB gun. Yeah.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
I shot their eyes out. Yeah, unfortunately.
So, but no, I'm digging the new line. Well, the new old line, I should say, of toys, and having fun hunting for them.
Are you going to open any of them?
No.
Why?
Nostalgia? I don't know. I mean, should I say my age? I'm a 40-year-old man. I really don't see myself playing.
I'm a 40-year-old man. And I'll tell you right now why I'm not going to open them. Okay. Not because I'm a collector, not because it's going to ruin the value.
Right.
Or anything like that. I don't have the imagination anymore, or the energy, or the want to play with action figures or anything like that.
You're not wrong. In fact, yeah. We found Battle Armor Skeletor. I did yesterday. And that's our new edition because we both got one.
Yes.
I share the wealth.
Thank you. Except for Castle Grayskull.
Mine. But so when I had it, Mia, my little one, Dad, are we going to play with it? No, we're not going to play with it.
But toys.
But I did, which this sparked a whole other conversation.
Are you going to buy her own?
She does know characters now. She sat and watched not all 5 episodes, at least the first 3. So she does know characters. She knows Orko, she knows Skeletor, He-Man, which I'm cool with. She'll learn the others as we go. I told her, when Daddy's no longer on this earth, I will gift you my collection. Which started a whole new conversation. Dad, where are you going?
It's a Preternia.
Dad, that was awesome. Why didn't I think of that? Dad, are you not coming back? I'm like, no. But Dad will always be with you. And you'll have it in my collection. Which my oldest already claimed Skeletor. So.
Bro, just buy them doubles. Let them play with the toys.
This is true.
I was at Walmart a couple weeks back. Right. And there was this guy. And he was there with his little girl. Right. And she grabs this like Tonka truck size monster truck that was shaped like a dinosaur.
Oh, good.
Right. And she's like, oh, she's all happy. And she picks it up and then she puts it right in the middle of the aisle. She's like pushing it and kind of like sitting on the monster truck. Right. He's like, no. Put that down. Let's go look at the dolls. Now, I don't have any children, but at that point, I wanted to punch this guy in the face because he didn't want his daughter playing with the dinosaur Tonka truck.
Wow.
He wanted to go take her to the dog. But, I mean, this kid just lit up.
Wow.
Just lit up, and she was all happy and all that. And I'm like, come on, guy.
Yeah. No, it's not a gender thing for me. It's just a selfish thing for me. They're mine. Don't touch them. I had a Batman plush, but the head was almost like an action figure, but one of those 12
hard plastic.
Right.
Yeah.
And I've had that since I was a kid. I remember going to KB store with my birthday money and me buying it. It was in the glass case, and of course I saw the other action figures, but I saw this one, and this was just so. It was a black Batman, Michael Keaton version, but
Yeah.
I mean the face obviously was just plush or whatever with the plastic, and I had that thing since I was maybe 7 years old. Like, I don't know. And somehow my daughters found it, inherited it, and I saw him chilling in the Barbie Corvette with Barbies, and next thing I knew his hand was missing, then his head was popped off, and it's just like,
Well, they were playing with it, though.
well, at least he had life again. But no, these are mine. And it's not a collector thing. I mean, it's just, like I said, more nostalgia.
Just go and buy them a He-Man and a Skeletor because there's millions of those on the shelves and nothing else.
And Battle Cat.
You can go to a corner store and they're going to have Battle Cat and He-Man and Skeletor. You know why, though, right?
They overmade?
No, because back in the day, that's what ruined the cartoon and that's what killed the toy line, that they never made more He-Man and Skeletor. And that was something else on the toy line. For people that don't know, all these animated shows are just to sell more toys.
Right. No, I get that.
But if you're watching something where the main characters, He-Man and Skeletor, aren't available to be bought, because after they made them, then they made the battle armor ones, and then every now and then they would throw like the ones that had the claws or something like that on there. But they had all these other toys whenever they were releasing a new line of them, but there weren't He-Man and Skeletor, and so that's why they had to change things up.
I think that's all you see once you hit the stores.
Oh, one of my buddies that watched it, that actually watched all the episodes, he told me, well, it doesn't make any sense. They kill off the main characters and you have to watch everybody else. I'm like, oh, you're not a Transformers fan? You know, when they killed Optimus Prime?
True.
And they admit the only reason they killed Optimus Prime was so they could sell
the other
toys.
And for me, I'm not a toy hunter per se, but I enjoy looking for the, He-Man line. And that's
Masters of the Universe.
Masters of the Universe.
That's something else one of my bros told me. He's like, how are they going to call it He-Man and He-Man's not even in it? I'm like, no, they call it Masters of the Universe. They even say
Masters.
Yes, they even say in the show a couple of times.
They do.
I want to be a master of the universe, or we can be masters of the universe.
That is true. They do refer to that a lot, as opposed. I mean, He-Man's a person. It's not.
Yeah.
But that's just what you associate.
And they also point out that Eternia is the center of the universe.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
And they reference other planets. And
I
stuff
like the revelations of all of that stuff. Well,
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
No, I try. Every now and then. Yes.
But I think we should end it there.
All right.
Oh, you went there, didn't you?
Well.
But all right. So don't forget, all the social media is Bucket of Popcorn. One of them, I think it's like the Instagram is Bucket of Popcorn Podcast. I haven't updated over there, so
Should we make plans for season 2 once it comes?
Definitely.
I'm in. Let's do it.
That's a given. Bro. And I don't know. I think if nobody listens to us, there'll definitely be at least one person that listens to this.
I think so.
Anything you want to say to that one person?
Thank you.
Wait, I don't think we're thinking about the same one person.
What person are we thinking about?
I'm thinking of a person that lives across the ocean.
Ah.
Yeah, don't say what he would say. Why are you playing with toys?
Well, why don't you spend your money on something else? Why? You could buy food. You could buy
Supplements.
Oh.
Speaking of supplements, no. I'm trying to give you a doorway for your.
I know. It's all right.
So you're saying that our listeners wouldn't be buying
I won't push it on here.
another podcast.
Yeah, another time.
All right, bro. So until next time, I'm Josh.
I'm Coach Mark.
And this has been the Bucket of Popcorn podcast talking about the Masters of the Universe Revelation. We both gave it an 8. And whoever didn't like it, that's your opinion. We liked it.
We did.
All right. Peace.
Peace.